Sarvagati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave Na Guruv Paramam Shishurasmi Guroho Matirasmi Guru Mama Pahi Guru Satchidanandarupaya Vishvotpatyati Hetave Tavatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranadah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravrajjantamapedamapedahrityam Dvaipayano Virahakadara Ajuhava Putredi Tanmayataya Taraho Binedustam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Sarvebhyaha Namaskaraha. In my last upload, I completed till Chapter 9 of Canto 3 of Bhagavada Purana. Lord Brahma, Brahmadeva, praised Bhagavan Srimad Narayana with a very beautiful hymn. Brahmadeva did tapas for 100 divine years, and after that he saw the form of Bhagavan Srimad Narayana, and seeing him, he praised Bhagavan with Saguna as well as his Nirguna qualities, and Bhagavan Srimad Narayana was so much pleased with that hymn, and he blessed Brahmadeva to proceed this creation as he has created in the previous cycle. And also he advised Brahmadeva to do a tapas again so that he can also realize that how Bhagavan is pervading in everything, and he will get intuition to create this universe. So he advised Brahmadeva, he guided Brahmadeva to proceed with this creation as before, as in the previous cycle. After giving this advice, Bhagavan Srimad Narayana disappeared from the vision of Brahmadeva. So Brahmadeva, he did tapas. Again, he continued tapas. And almost when 100 divine years were gone, around that period, he was able to feel a violent wind, violent waves on which he was sitting. He was sitting on the water of deluge. Violent waves and violent winds was shaking his lotus flower on which he was sitting. So he was sitting on the water of deluge in that lotus flower. It was so violently shaking, and when he opened his eyes, he was able to see violent waves. That is the Pralayakala Vayu, and that destroyed everything in the previous cycle. So that was the Pralayakala Vayu. Due to the power gained by his tapas all these years, that almost nearly 100 divine years, he got that powers. With that power, he consumed everything, both the water and the wind. He consumed everything. Now he saw something, some other wonder. He saw that his lotus flower was just completely filling up this entire sky. So big it was. And he got an intuition that also because he did tapas, he got the intuition that he can create the worlds from this lotus itself by dividing this lotus, because this lotus, all this entire creation was in a latent form. So he divided this lotus into three and made the three lokas Bhuvasva. Even though he can make 14 worlds out of this lotus, he concentrated on these three worlds, because only when the beings are there in the Bhuloka, by Krama Mukti, they go to the higher lokas like Tapaloka, Janaloka and Satyaloka. And when they do Papa karmas, they go to the Netaloka. So first he created the Bhuloka, Bhuvaloka and Swaloka. In this context, Sage Maitreya explains about the concept of time. What is time? Time is actually nirvisesha, without any modification, and apradishtitaha, without any beginning or end. It is without any modification. As commissioned by Bhagavan, in the beginning of the creation, when it stirs the gunas of Prakriti, then it appears, or it takes expression. So till then, it is nirvisesha, without any modification. Only then it finds its expression and it stirs the gunas of Prakriti, and from that the Mula Prakriti, the Mahat Tattva emerges out, and from that step by step each one will evolve. So as such, Kala, time, is nirvisesha and apradishtitaha. It does not have any beginning or end. And after that, based on this time only, the entire manifestation comes out. It's all based on this time. All the beings, they exist because of this Kala. Only during some period, as destined by Kala, it exists. The Lokas will exist. And even in the end, only this time decides when to dissolve this creation, and everything goes back into that avyakta murti in the form of a subtle or latent impression, and it becomes latent in that avyakta murti, that is Bhagavan Srimad Narayana. So once again, as instigated by time, this entire creation will come out, will manifest, and like this, the cycle goes on and on. So this universe existed as it is even before Pralaya. In Pralaya, it is in the latent subtle form. So after Pralaya, in the next creative cycle, it exists as it is as before. That's why Bhagavada says, Yadedhanim tadagrecha paschatapi yedad yedrasham. It existed agre, that is before, in the beginning also it existed like this. In Pralaya, it will be in the subtle form, latent form in Bhagavan Srimad Narayana. And after that also it exists the same way. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna will say, myself as well as you have taken many, many births. I remember everything, but you do not remember anything. And even in Ramayana it says that it's there many such avatars Sri Rama has taken. Similar Rama avatara. Even we, the ordinary jivas, we have taken the same birth repeatedly. It happens like this. That is the cycle of this creation. That's why some rishis, great rishis like Agastya Rishi or Vasishta Rishi, they were able to calculate the future of the jivas exactly. Not like today's astrologers, but they calculate it exactly because they have witnessed our life before itself. So it's the same before and after Pralaya also, the existence will be the same. There will not be much difference in it. And having said this, Sage Maitreya explains about the dissolution, that is the Pralaya. Pralaya takes place in three forms. Kala Dravya Gunai Rasya Trivida Pradisangramaha. Pradisangramaha is dissolution. It takes form in three forms. That it takes place in three forms. That is based on Kala, time, Dravya, matter, and Guna, that is the attributes. So based on time, the Pralaya takes place, which is based on time, is called the Nitya Pralaya. And the Pralaya which takes place based on the Dravya, matter, is the Naimittika Pralaya. And the Pralaya which takes place based on the Gunas, the attributes, is the Prakrita Pralaya. Nitya Pralaya is what we experience every day. That is, when we sleep, that is Nitya Pralaya. And when we get up in the morning, we create our new life. So that is Nitya Pralaya, because we are not aware of the time. The time will be there, this world will be there, but while we sleep, we are not aware of anything. So it is just like Pralaya. So that is Nitya Pralaya based on time. And the next is the Dravya, that is based on the Dravya, that is matter, is the Naimittika Pralaya. Naimittika Pralaya is, in that Pralaya, everything, all the matter will be destroyed. All the matter will dissolve in that water of deluge. And in the beginning of that dissolution, uh, fire will come out from the mouth of Lord Sangharshana, who is residing in the Patala Loka. So it will burn up all the matter, and the rest will be swallowed by the water. The ocean will just increase. It will come to the land. So anyway, everything will be dissolved, and even the rishis in the Mahaloka, Tapaloka, they will also go. Only in the Naimittika Pralaya, everything will be dissolved except the Satyaloka, that is the Loka of Lord Brahma, Brahmadeva. This Pralaya takes place during the night time of Lord Brahma. So everything, the entire creation will be destroyed or dissolved in the water of deluge, and Lord Brahma will be there, he will go to sleep. That is the Naimittika Pralaya based on Dravya. And in the next Pralaya, the third form of Pralaya is the Prakrita Pralaya. There, even the Brahmaloka and Lord Brahma, Brahmadeva also will be destroyed, and they become so late as latent energy. They become latent energy or subtle, take the subtle form and exist in Bhagavan Srimad Narayana. Only Bhagavan Srimad Narayana will be existing. Everything will be there in a subtle form or as latent energy in him. He will be the Avyakta Murti. Everything he will absorb and keep it in him, and he will be lying in the Yoga Nidra. So that is the third form of Pralaya. Now, having said this, Sage Maitreya explains about the Srishti. Srishti, that is creation. There are 10 aspects in creation. Some of that we have seen in the previous chapters under the heading Sarga. The first aspect of creation is the emergence of Mahat Tattva from the Mula Prakriti. Mahat Tattva has everything in its latent form. So that is the first aspect of creation. The second aspect of creation is the emergence of Ahankara from Mahat Tattva. Then the Ahankara divides into Tamas Ahankara, Rajas Ahankara, and Satvik Ahankara. So that section is the second aspect of creation. Now the third aspect of creation is the emergence of the subtle bhutas, that is the tanmatras and the basic elements, 5 basic elements from the Tamas Ahankara. And that is the third aspect of creation. The fourth aspect of creation is the emergence of the organs of action and organs of knowledge from the Rajas Ahankara. And the fifth aspect of creation is the emergence of the presiding deities of these organs of action and the organs of knowledge along with the mind, manas. So these are the 5 aspects of creation, and as the sixth aspect of creation emerges out, avidya, ignorance. Ignorance plays a very important part in creation, because without ignorance or avidya, there cannot be any transactional reality or transactional world. There cannot be any manifestation, because if all of us are knowledgeable, then what is the use of this creation? Only because of this avidya, that is the product of Maya, we are able to do all those mistakes, and this creation continues because of all those mistakes. So when everyone is knowledgeable, then what's the use of this creation? So avidya or ignorance plays an important part in this manifestation. So that is the sixth aspect of creation. And this creation is of 2 forms, that is the Prakrita Srishti and the Vaikrita Srishti. These 6 aspects of creation, that is the Mahat Tattva, then Ahankara, then the emergence of the Panchabhutas, then the 10 Indriyas, presiding deities of the Indriyas along with the Manas, and Avidya as the 6th aspect of creation. This set is called the Prakrita Srishti, because everything came out from the nature, just emerges out one by one after the other from the Prakriti itself, that is Prakrita Srishti. Now, from the 7th aspect of creation, Bhagavan Srimad Narayana, his creative wisdom, along with his Rajo Guna, takes form as Brahma Deva, Lord Brahma. And this entire creation with the power of Rajas comes out from his navel and it forms a lotus flower. In that lotus flower, all this creation are there in its latent form. On that lotus seat was seated Lord Brahma, Brahma Deva. So he is the creative wisdom of Srimad Narayana. The rest of the creation he creates. Either he creates from his mind or from his body or some way he creates. And as the seventh aspect of creation, which is created by Lord Brahma or Brahma Deva, is the 6 types of unmoving beings. These 6 types of unmoving beings fills this earth as plants and trees. First is the Vanaspati. Vanaspati is that plants or trees that gives a fruit without flowers. The next is the Aushadhi, that type. That is, Aushadhi is that vegetation that gives fruit and after that it is destroyed, just like the banana tree. And the next is the Latha, the creepers that spread on some support. And next is the Twaksara. Twaksara is that tree which has hard barks, just like a bamboo tree. The next is the Virudaha. Virudaha are the creepers that grow, that spread on the ground without any support, just like pumpkin or watermelon, like that. And the next is the Druma. Druma is that which gives flowers and fruits. So these are the 6 types of unmoving beings. The speciality or the characteristics of these types of beings, that is this vegetation, is they take food from the soil and the nutrition goes upwards. However big or tall that a tree may be, it may be a banyan tree or it may be a deodar tree of the Himalayan valleys, Kashmir valleys, whatever it may be, even if it is tall or big, even if it is thousands or 2,000 years old, it takes food from the soil, from the ground, and its nutrition goes upward. That is its main characteristics. And another thing is, another speciality of this 7th aspect of creation is, these trees or these plants, they do not react externally, but they have sparsha shakti that is dominant in them. That is, when we touch them, they can realize, but they do not express it outside. So that is the speciality of this type, that is the 7th aspect of creation. And the next aspect, that is the 8th aspect of creation, is the animals and birds. The main characteristics of this creation, that is the 8th aspect, is they do not have the reasoning capacity like man. And another thing is they cannot think or they cannot decide. They just live for food and for physical needs, just to exhaust their karmas. Another thing is they have that is the Gandha Shakti, that is the power of smell is dominant in them. That's why even when we feed the holy cow, it will just smell and then only it will take that food. So that Gandha Shakti is dominant in it. And another main aspect of this, the main characteristics of this aspect of creation is, they take food and the nutrition goes horizontal. So that is another aspect of creation. They do not have any reasoning capacity, and there are 28 different varieties in these animals. That is based on the cloven hoof. That is, they have split hoof, that like cow and all. That is one variety, and another is a single hoof. Only one hoof, that is just like the horses and all. Then 5 nailed feet, like a lion, elephant, tortoise, alligators, all that. So these are all some different types in this 28 varieties. They all move on earth. And the next variety is that which flies in the sky. There are 28 varieties of birds. They're like the sparrows, dove, eagle, vulture, crow, swan, like this, many peacock, many birds. So in these varieties, there are subdivisions and subdivisions like that, but mainly they are based on this. So this is the eighth aspect of creation created by Lord Brahma to fill this Bhuloha. Only these beings, they perform karma and they go either to the higher lokas, Swarga Loka, or they go to the nether lokas. So first he created this lokas. Then the next is the ninth aspect of creation. That is the human species, that is the human beings. The speciality of these human beings is they take food and it goes downwards. And another thing is they have the reasoning capacity, creative capacity, everything. The only problem is they take misery as happiness and happiness as misery. So that is the normal human being. Unless and until we have knowledge, we do not know what is good and what is bad. And they are dominant of Rajoguna, whereas the plants and all, they are dominant of the Tamoguna. But in human species, Manishya Varga, Rajoguna and the Sattva gunas are dominant. So all these categories, that is category under 7, 8 and 9 were manifested by Brahma Deva according to the previous cycle of creation. Now, as the 10th aspect of creation, Brahma Deva brings into existence the Devas, the Pitars, the Gandharvas, the Dhanavas, the Pishashas, Pretas, Bhutas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Charanas, Vidyadharas, Kinnaras, and many types. When I say Devas, some of the Devas came into existence as the presiding deities of the organs of actions and knowledge, like Indra Deva, Ashwini Devas, and the Varuna Deva, Agni Deva. They were all the presiding deities of the organs of actions or organs of knowledge. Leaving them, the rest of the Devas and Apsaras, they were formed in this as the 10th aspect of creation. So these are the 10 aspects of creation, and the creation of that is the manifestation of the 7, 8 and 9 and 10th aspect of creation done by Brahma Deva. This is called the Vaikhrita Srishti. So the first 6 aspects is called the Prakrita Srishti, and from 7 to 10 it is called the Vaikhrita Srishti. So all this in the beginning of the cycle, the creative power of Bhagavan, it takes form or it manifests along with the Rajoguna as Brahmadeva, and he projects everything outside of himself. So he is the Upadana Karana as well as the Nimitta Karana. He doesn't use any other material to create all these beings. He is both the Upadana Karana as well as the Nimitta Karana. So these are the 2 aspects of creation. Now, in the Ekadasha, that is in the 11th chapter of Canto 3, the genealogy, Vamsha, as well as the Manvantra, the age of the Manus, are described by Sage Maitreya to Sri Vidura. Sage Maitreya explains in detail about the concept of time. That is, what is time? How is it calculated and how it affects the jivas and the people in this Bhuloka. We already know that it is nirvisesha, without any modification basically. And when it stirs the gunas of Prakriti, it manifests. Or it expresses itself only during, as commissioned by Bhagavan, during the beginning of the cycle, it disturbs the gunas of Prakriti. We all know that. But to understand Sama, that is Kala, in detail, we have to understand the basic building particle of this creation and also the movement of sun. Because without sun, there is no creation. This creation cannot sustain. So to understand about the concept of time in detail, we have to understand this basic building particle of this creation and the movement of the sun. The basic building particle of this creation is called the Paramanu. This unit Paramanu cannot be divided further. So the rays of the sun to pass through one Paramanu is called the Paramanu Kala. That is the rays of the time taken by the rays of the sun to pass through one Paramanu is called the Paramanu Kala. Two Paramanu together is called Anu. In English, we say it as atom. Three Paramanus together is called Trasaranu. And the time taken by the rays of the sun to pass through one Trasaranu is called Trasaranu Kala. So, this Paramanu or Anu are not visible to our naked eyes, but this Trasaranu we can see. When we open the windows and let the morning rays of sunlight pass through that window, when we can see it from the room, then we can see small dust-like particles just glittering in that rays of sun. I don't know whether it is possible now because there's high-rise buildings and we cannot open the window because the dust will come in and the neighbors will also peep in. So I do not know whether it is possible, but if possible, we can try it. In the morning sunlight, when it comes through our window, some particles will be glittering in that sun's rays. I can see it now. So that is one Trasaranu. Only this is visible. Three Trasaranus like this, and the time taken by the rays of the sunlight to pass through three Trasaranus is called one Truti. The time taken by the rays of the sun to pass through 100 Trutis is called Veda. Three Vedas is one Lava. Three Lavas is one Nimisha or moment. Three Nimisha is one Kshana. 5 Kshanas is one Kashta. 15 Kashtas is one Lagu. And 15 Lagus is one Nadika, that is 24 minutes. 2 Nadikas is one Muhurta, 48 minutes. 6 or 7 Nadikas is one Yama or one Prahara. Yama, we are very familiar with this Yama because there are 4 Yamas in the daytime of a man and 4 Yamas in the night of man. So, totally 8 Yamas make a day of man. 15 days and night is one Paksha, that is fortnight. There are 2 fortnights, white, that is a Shukla Paksha, and dark Krishna Paksha. So, these 2 fortnights, Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha together, they make one Masa, 1 month. 1 month is a day of the Pithas, because when we go to the different realms of consciousness, this time will change. This time is concerned with the rotation of the earth and the movement of the sun. Only that. So when we go to the different planets or the outer space or the higher realms of consciousness like the Swargaloka and Piturloka or Tapaloka, Janaloka, Satyaloka, everywhere the time differs. It will not be the same just like what it is on the earth. So according to the realm of consciousness, it changes. So 1 Masa is the 1 day of the Pithas. And 2 Masas together forms the 1 season. And 6 Masas together, that is 1 solstice of the sun, which is called the Ayana. And there are 2 Ayanas, Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. So these 2, Uttarayana and Dakshinayana period, 6 months, that is 12 months, form 1 year of man. And this 1 year of man is considered as 1 day of the god, that is the Devas. So for man, 100 such years makes the complete lifetime of man. And based on the position of the sun and the different planets in particular rasi, that is the stellar constellations. There are different names. One samvatsara is called the one solar year. That is the period of the uh, sun in one rasi. That is one samvatsara. That is within one solar year. And parivarsara is the period of the Jupiter that remains in the one rasi. The period of Jupiter, planet Jupiter, that remains in one rasi. That is the parivarsara. And the next is the Idavatsara, that is the 12 months of man, that is 1 year. And the next is the Anuvatsara. Anuvatsara is said as the lunar month, that is from one waxing period, then waning period, then waxing. That 1 month, that is complete one circle, is called the Anuvatsara. And Vatsara is the 12 stellar months. That is the period, that is the movement of the moon in one rasi. That is the Vatsara. So this movement, it is only to remove the infatuation from the mind of man, because when everything is so still, what will happen? How will the karma roll on? How will we get exhausted? So it is, this time is very important to the Bhuloka only, because here everything is based on time. Even in the everywhere it's based on time only, but they are not concerned about time. Only we human minds are so much concerned about time. And telling all this, Sage Maitreya, he explains about the yugas. That is, there are 4 yugas: Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. These 4 yugas combined together is called the one Chatur Yuga. The period of one Chatur Yuga is 12,000 divine years. That is, comparing to human years, it may go to a long time. One divine day itself is 1 year of man. There is 1 day of the Devas. So we can calculate that is 12,000 divine years. One Chatur Yuga is 12,000 divine years. And that is split as Krita Yuga is 4,800 years. Treta Yuga is 3,600. Dwapara Yuga is 2,400 years. Kali Yuga is 1,200 years. So this is the divine years. When we calculate it into human years, it is 4,380,000 human years. So such a long time. That is one Chatur Yuga. In the Krita Yuga, the Dharma will be complete. That is, it will have all its 4 portions complete. That is, the 4 portions of Dharma are: first is the Satya, and the next is the Tapas, austerity, the Daya, compassion, and the last is the Shaucham, purity. So all these are complete in the Krita Yuga. When the yugas or the time moves on, all the other portions will wither off. All the other parts of Dharma will wither off. And now in the Kali Yuga, only Satya is there. Satya means it is not what we speak, only the Satya truth. It's not that. Existence. Only existence is there. We cannot deny it. So it is there. Saucha means purity, means it is not only the external purity, hygiene. What is important is the internal purity, the purity of thoughts, not to hurt or not to disturb others even by our thoughts. Purity of thoughts is very important. We have to let others live. So that is completely not there. And tapas, austerity. Do we do core tapas? No, I don't think so. And the next is daya, that is compassion. This world is becoming so narrow-minded. We don't give place for any others in the name of competition. So where is the place for Daya? So that is the Kali Yuga. Everything is gone, only existence, truth exists. For in Brahma Loka, the time is very different. And outside the universe, in the Mahaloka, Tapaloka, everywhere the time is different. 1 day time of Brahma is 1,000 Chatur Yugas like this. That is 1 day time of Brahma. Like this, the one Brahma will exist for 100 years. And equally, 1,000 Chatur Yugas is the night of Brahma. So that makes the day of complete one day of Brahma. 1,000 Chaturyugas daytime and 1,000 Chaturyugas night. In the daytime there will be creation. In the night there will not be any creation. That is the Naimitika Pralaya. In this daytime itself, it is divided into 14 manvantras, 14 manvantras. And in each manvantra, 71 Chaturyugas, that is the period of each manvantra, 71 Chaturyugas. In one manvantra, there will be one Manu. With some Shabda Rishis, Devas, Gandharvas, everyone. In the next manvantra, that is after 71 Chaturyugas, Manu will change, Saptarishis will change, Devas will change, Indra will change. See, all these Deva Rishi, Indra, Saptarishi, all these are only positions, just like what we say as professor. The professor or vice chancellor, it's the name of a position. Anyone can take that position. So Indra, Sabda Rishis are all the name of the position. The Rishis who meditate that to that level and come to that level of knowledge, they occupy that position. That's why when we read the Puranas, we can often see the different Sabda Rishis. The name of the Sabda Rishis will change. So that's because for one Manvantra, there will be one Manu, and he rules over the world, and in that period there will be one set of Saptarishis, Indra, Devas, Prajapatis, everyone. In the next Manvantra, that is the Manu also will change, the Saptarishis, Indra, everyone will change. So like this is 71 Chaturyugas is one Manvantra. And like this, there are 14 manvantras in the day period of Brahma. After that, he dissolves everything, that is matter, everything matter, and he will go to sleep. Even that is the fire from the Patala Loka, that is from the god Sangharshana, mouth of god Sangharshana, it will burn up everything. And even the rishis in the top lokas, like higher lokas, realm of consciousness, like Tapaloka or Janaloka, they cannot bear it, so they all go to Satyaloka and live with Lord Brahma. So that is the night time of Brahma. Again, he will begin his creation in his daytime, so it goes on, cycle after cycle, it goes on like this. And in the Prakrita Pralaya, even the Brahmaloka will be dissolved and Brahma also will not be there. Andasa tasmin salila astenantasano harihi yoga nidra nimilaksha stuyamano janalayaihi. So Bhagavan Mahavishnu, with his closed eyes in his yogic nidra, he lie on his serpent bed on Adisesha in the midst of that cosmic water in the Prakrita Pralaya. And after that, as commissioned by him, the time will instigate the three gunas of Prakriti, then the Mahatattva will evolve, then the Sarga, everything one after the other, then the Prakrita, then the Vaikrita Srishti, everything will come one after the other, as we have seen before. And again, after this, this will go on like this for 100 divine years, and the Brahma itself will change. And now the 100 years of Brahma is divided into two parardhas. That is the first parardha and the second parardha. 50 years of Brahma, that is first parardha, and the next 50 years of Brahma is the second parardha. After that, the Brahma Loka and Brahma, everyone will change. They will be dissolved and will be absorbed in the Avyakta Murti. Then for the next creative cycle, again Brahma Deva will come out from Bhagavan Srimad Narayana. Now we are in the second parardha, that is the second phase of Lord Brahma, this Brahma. And in the previous cycle, Brahma Deva was called the Sabda Brahma, and now in this cycle, that is this second half of Brahma's life, the second parardha is called the Padma Kalpa, because the creation came from the lotus. And especially the time which we live now is called the Varaha Kalpa, because Varaha Murti, Bhagavan as Varaha Murti manifested in this Avatara. He took form and saved the earth in this period only. Tadahuraksharam Brahma Sarvakarana Karanam Vishnordhama Param Sakshat Purushasya Mahatmanah. Sri Hari is Akshara Brahman. There is no time, he is not there. Because time itself, Kala itself is in him. He is Akshara Brahman. He is the cause of all the causes. Now we understand very clearly why we say him as the cause of all causes. Because even Brahmadeva came out from him. He is that supreme Vishnu. He is the highest of all beings. And this Brahmanda is just like a speck in Bhagavan. This entire Brahmanda with all these planets which we know and which we may not know in our lifetime itself. Even the scientists, they may not know. So this entire creation is just like an anu, just like a speck in Bhagavan. So just imagine his power and his infinite nature. This is truly infinite because we cannot see the end of anything or the beginning of anything. So with this ends chapter 11 of Canto 3 of Bhagavada Purana. In my next upload, I continue with the rest of the chapters of Bhagavada Purana. Shri Narayana Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.